piano in the background, so I'll give it my best shot. I'll do this live stream. I've tried to do one every day, and I've liked the challenge of it, so we'll give it a shot, see if I can do it. You might enjoy the music in the background, it is quite nice. So, title of the stream is Anxiety and Hopelessness. How to get through it with perseverance, patience. Well, that's kind of how you get through it, and obviously that is a process. And if you've been listening to my talks, my teachings, my story, my testimony, I would have explained that you practice one day at a time. I mean, for some people, they would practice an hour at a time if you're going through a very difficult time. And that's something that I learned. Now, I also want to say as well, you don't have to be, anxious and hopeless to practice what I'm teaching, because I love it. If you want to enjoy your life more, and most people do, and they want to be a better person, get more out of life, then practicing daily discipline, daily gratitude is going to give you that. And I practice it every day. And when I had a mental health breakdown in 2017, I've said this before and I'm going to continue to say it. I'm not going to get bored of saying it to help people. And I enjoyed talking about my story. I thought it was the worst thing that ever happened to me at the start, because I was a successful entrepreneur and I was a coach, and I had a great life for several years, the life that I dreamed of when I was younger, which part of me never thought I could achieve. So I had a good life for a few years, say about 3 or 4 years of honeymoon period. I just loved it. Part of me didn't even feel that I deserved it. It was that good, because I grew up poor, I grew up struggling. So not, growing up poor, yeah, financially, but not just that, growing up having a lot of anxieties and insecurities and not facing enough fear, basically, and things like that, along with bullying and being put down a lot. So overcoming that was a huge achievement for me at that particular time, being where I was, and that I didn't get an education at school because I didn't enjoy school for the most part. I enjoyed some of it, but not all of it. I was always afraid. My school was rough, so every day was like, I just want to get through the day and survive and get home safe for my family and play video games. So that was a huge part of my daily battle of going to school. School for me felt like a prison. It felt unsafe, and it was unsafe many times. So school was difficult growing up. That affected me in every area, in every way. It gave me a lot of mental health problems because of the bullying. A lot of kids as well suffered like me. So coming from that place, leaving school with no education, and being told that I'm really not good enough, and then struggling for many years after and trying to figure out, what do I want to do? Do I want to go to university? It wasn't really an option that I kind of wanted to and kind of didn't want to, decided it wasn't right for me. And then trying to figure out what job do I want to do, and always being in between jobs that I didn't enjoy. I actually always enjoyed working hard, and it hasn't changed to this day, and I'm really grateful for that. My parents worked really hard. I learned that from just, my faith, my values, and, so my parents worked hard, and I always felt good when I worked hard, whatever it was. It was, cleaning up, doing a summer job. I did all sorts of jobs growing up. I worked as a labourer, a tea-boy, and hard labor, manual labour, did that. I worked as in retail. I worked as a postman for Royal Mail later on. I really enjoyed that for a few years. I'm going to speak more on that, even though it wasn't what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. But when I was doing it, I loved it. It gave me a full-time pay. I felt great about working hard, having an honest job. It kept me out of trouble. So that gives you a little bit of context of my story in the earlier years. But I got to a point in my early 20s where I wasn't happy anymore, and I thought, all my anxieties, I couldn't run anymore from them. I felt hopeless. So those of you might be feeling the same, and there is hope if you listen to my story. You take from it what you need to take. So feeling kind of claustrophobic and trapped with my own fears and anxieties in my 20s, and I just started to get my own independence. I moved out of my parents, lived with my nan for a few years, one of the best times of my life. I love my nan. But when I left my nan's, finally got my own place, which I was happy about and excited, I couldn't handle the pressure. It frightened me. I was living in Fulham Broadway. I was living in a nice, wealthy area, but it was a small place, and I was frightened of living. I was frightened of life, and I was afraid of also everything dying, I was just stuck. I couldn't move forward. I couldn't get a relationship. I couldn't earn money. I was petrified of living. I couldn't come to hotels. I couldn't come out flat unless I had to. And when I did come out, I was suffering all the time, not in a good way. And it was because I didn't have the courage to ask for help, put my hand up and say, I need some help here. I was too proud at the time. I was too embarrassed, too ashamed. I didn't want people knowing these things about me. So I had to get to a breaking point in my early 20s where I hit rock bottom and I started to have suicidal thoughts. And that's when I thought, this isn't good, because I never had these things before. That would be the last thing on my mind. I had my struggles, but I always wanted to live. Throughout my life growing up, I break my life up into two categories. It was an amazing childhood. There was a lot of love. I was fortunate to have that. There was a lot of good times, a lot of good Christmases with my family, which my mum and dad worked hard to do for me. Great friends growing up. That is true, but on another side, it was hell and back. It was very traumatic, my upbringing. So it was both. Maybe some of you can relate. So I always felt split, like two people, like one person that was loving, good enough, honest person, a good person who could achieve whatever he put his mind to. But I always had another person who felt worthless, insecure, angry, hurt, not trusting. And that was obviously part of me that was damaged from bullying growing up. My dad bullied me growing up for many years. He was a good dad in some ways, but he was also very abusive. And that broke me down, literally just crippled my self-esteem and made me just be not trusting people, lose confidence. And then I got bullied at school, got bullied around my area for a long period. Obviously it got to a point where I stood up to my dad as I got a bit older. He got scared and he stopped the physical bullying. He couldn't do it anymore. He started to change, he calmed down a lot. And then I started to stand up to bullies in my area, and then they stopped bullying me, and then later on. But by the time I started to stand up for myself, which was a great thing to do, and I finally found my courage, the damage had already been done in regards to my mental health. So I had a lot of these mental health issues. Some of them I kind of knew deep down I had, but I didn't realise the extent of the damage that I had suffered and underwent as a result of having an abusive dad, having a loving upbringing, but also a traumatic one. And it confused my psychology a lot, because I was being loved a lot by my mum, loved by my nan. My dad would love me in his own way, but then he would be abusive. So it affected my psychology, of course. It wasn't right. But luckily I had some good relationships, with my mum, and my nan was amazing, and a lot of love from friends and aunties and cousins. I did get a lot of love, and I was a very loving person, so I'm really grateful for that. But it still didn't take away the fact that I suffered a lot, badly, and that's when I realised, I need to get some help, because it's not like I'm making things up or I've got a headache. Like, I'm thinking about killing myself because I'm in so much pain. I'm so depressed. I'm so frightened of life. I don't want to be unemployed. That was what was frustrating for me. I loved working. I loved, I just like contributing. Like any sort of person, you don't want to feel like you're a failure, you're not contributing to society, you're not got your own money. So I couldn't do these things. I couldn't be free anymore. And every time I'd get a job, I'd lose the job because I'd get bullied by a boss and I'd lose my temper, or they'd fire me. So I was just stuck in this pattern, and it just got to a point where I couldn't do it anymore. And that was when I prayed in my 20s, and I listened to a message from Les Brown, and then I became very entrepreneurial and changed my life, turned my life around, as I said. But after having a great life, late 20s, that's when I achieved all my goals. My goals were, I didn't want to be suicidal anymore. I wanted to do my dream job, which was to help people and teach them, and be a speaker and a writer and a motivational type teacher that built people's confidence up in every area. And I did that, and I wanted to get a lovely girlfriend. And it took a while. She, best woman that I ever had in my life. She supported me. When I first met her, I didn't have any money. I was just starting my business. I had no money at all. She didn't care. She just loved me. She supported me. She believed in me. And we grew together, and I became financially free. We fell in love. I moved out of my parents, because I was back at my parents at about 27, 28. I've got my business up and running. We moved in together, and it was a fairy tale story, and I was teaching around the world I was so happy. All my mental health problems, they went away to a certain degree. But then as I got into my 30s, something started to not feel right, and I started to feel like, well, I'm getting a lot of mental problems again. But it came on stronger, and I was going online looking for answers because I was scratching my head going, why am I feeling down and frightened when I've got a great life? I've got a great woman who loves me. We live together. You know, I'm earning good money doing what I love. I'm changing people's lives. You know, these are all the things that I dreamed of, but I didn't realise that there was a lot of things that were not addressed from my trauma. A lot of it come from my dad. Hadn't addressed it. I thought success would take it away. Success didn't take away the trauma that was caused mostly by my dad and events around bullying. And of course I made mistakes in my life as well. I'm not painting myself to be a perfect person, but I was a good person growing up. But of course I'd done some bad things, made mistakes, you know, got in trouble for selling drugs, almost went to prison but did community service, you know, wasn't always nice to people. You know, I was good to my friends and stuff and family, but you know, I wasn't always the best version of myself, and I obviously later on really regretted that, even though when I was working with people everyone said I was, you know, really good to them, and that was nice. But you know, we make mistakes in life, and I knew that I made mistakes and I felt bad for them, and had a lot of addictions. You know, I had an addiction to I don't like using the word because it feels like I'm judging them. I'm not. I respect everybody. You know, God showed me a lot of forgiveness. But I had an addiction to sex. I had an addiction to paying for sex, and I didn't feel good about that. And funny enough, I told my parents. They were very understanding. They were okay about it. I mean, you know, they didn't encourage me to do it, but they weren't judgmental. But I didn't feel good about it, especially with my faith. Later on, I quit that addiction, but I still had it in my past, and I wanted to share it with the world. I wanted people to know not just the good things about me, because I had a lot of good qualities. I wanted people to know where I've come from, not just the good things, but my mistakes that I'm sorry for, how I turned it around. So a lot of things caught up with me, you know, and success wasn't easy for me because, you know, when you grow up poor and you don't believe you're good enough and then you achieve it, you're very happy. But you still feel like, I still felt like, you know, I still didn't feel free fully. So that also, success stressed me out too. So, moving forward, appreciate all of you coming on. So like I said, my early 20s was hell. No, my teens was like kind of like amazing, even though a lot of it was hard at the house. It was hard being around my dad at home, but when I'd go out, it was amazing. My friends, throughout, you know, like my 13, 14, it was just amazing times of my life. I could cry if I spoke about it too much, right? And be a good time in the music. So that was great. And then some of my early 20s was good, but apart, when I got to around 22 sort of to 25, that was hell and back. That's when I started feeling suicidal, and that's when I started to go and do boxing, which is why I love boxing, because boxing stopped me from potentially ending my life or going into prison or going back into drug dealing or taking, you know, drugs. I was never a massive drug taker. I dabbled in a little bit of drugs. It wasn't really my thing, but I still did it. Still took drugs, and I could have gone down that road. So I was quite lucky. You can kind of hear my story. It was, you know, there is a struggle kind of continuously of trying to stay on the right path, falling off, getting back on. And so when I, in my early 30s, I had the mental health breakdown at 34, but I started to become unwell about 32, 33. You know, my relationship started to break down with my girlfriend, which was really good. She was brilliant, and it was a lot of my mental problems, and then the other things. I didn't have great people around me, because, you know, one of the lessons that I've learned, and I'm glad for lesson now, when you're successful, it attracts a lot of disingenuine people, and that's life. And some of you might have to learn that you know, they just want to be around you because you're successful, and they want things from you, and it's not honest, it's not in a good way. And I had good people around me as well, so that affected me, and I had to mature and stop letting people like that in my life and having better boundaries. But that came a little bit later on. I'm really good at that now, my boundaries. I don't let people in that fake. I can spot it straight away. Teach my clients that as well. Treat people well, how you want to be treated. Don't use people, but don't let people use and abuse you. And when you are successful, when you're helping people, when you're growing, You are going to attract good people, but you are going to attract disingenuous people. It's a story, it's life. You got to learn to deal with it. Everyone goes through it, and I just say gratitude to all of it. So when I got to 33, 34, that was it. Fell apart. Mental health problems, worst mental health problems I've ever had. Worse than the mental health I had in my 20s. Now, even though in my 20s I was getting suicidal, I eventually got the help, but when I had the breakdown at 34, I wasn't suicidal this time. I didn't want to die. I felt like I was dying, but I was severely ill. I was being tortured by my own mind, and I had a psychotic breakdown. I wasn't diagnosed with any particular mental health problem. It was just a breakdown, and the doctors didn't know what was the cause of it, and neither did I. It was a contributing factor of many things: success, pressure, stress, a little bit of fame, trauma from my dad in the past, mistakes that I had made, coming away from my faith, which was always important to me as a believer in Jesus and a Christian, coming so far away from that, the thing that gave me meaning and everything in life. My nan died just before. Let me just fix that. Don't know what's going on with the connection. It's really cruel sometimes. It does this when streams are going really well, but we'll do the best we can. So, to bring you up to date. So, the one thing that I wanted to share today, if the stream does cut out for people, is perseverance. If you study perseverance, perseverance is not giving up. When you're going through pain and suffering, which we all do, right? And there is a lot of positives in pain and suffering, because we all suffer pain of living. It doesn't matter what we've got and what we don't have. But I've learned that you can learn to find gratitude in your pain and suffering, and you're not going to be in pain forever, and you can become a better person through practicing what I would call daily discipline and daily gratitude. And I've made a list underneath this video. I've been putting this out every day, continuing to share this testimony of what I learned from going through a mental health breakdown and how it transformed my life. It was a painful experience, but I'm glad I went for it, because I'm in a lot more peace now, and I love helping people again. I've changed, everything, my business, my teaching. It's an ongoing testimony, and every single day I find gratitude every day. I found it right now. I feel it. I found it this morning. I worked with a client and I went to the gym. Amazing workout that I just love training. I like growing. So please apologies, sometimes it's hard for me to explain in human language and words on a live stream what I'm trying to get across to you, but I think a lot of you are smart. You'll feel it in your heart. Hopefully it won't be too heady, because if you try to understand what I'm saying logically, I don't think you're going to get the sort of benefits that I want you to, and that I've got from life, from my faith, from going through these things. So it really is about taking one day at a time and persevering. Study that word. It's a beautiful word. It will give you a lot of context and information. You can apply it. Perseverance. Through the pain, through the suffering, through the anxiety, finding, what was it I said to a client today? It really helped him, my client. I was talking to him on Zoom. He's in a lot of pain at the moment. I feel for him, but he's progressing. And I said, find appreciation in your pain and suffering. Find gratitude. And he said, that's helped me a lot. I said, that's what I've done. That's what all people do, of faith, of strength, and you're going to come out of it. You'll be a better person, because he's struggling in the morning, right? We all have that battle when he wakes up. He said the conversation really is stressing him out, frightening him, the anxiety, thoughts, and the emotions. Oh yeah, definitely. I couldn't have got through the mental health breakdown. I couldn't have got through all the things in my life without my faith, without that. And as I said, at times, I have come away from it through my own ignorance, my own thing, but I've always come back to it. And now this is a personal thing for me again. I don't put my faith on others, but I'm sharing my story, and those that want to hear it, you're welcome. Because I respect people of all faiths. I've got friends from all walks of life. But for me and my story, it has transformed me. I practice it every day. I really do live it a lot more than I used to, because of the really humbling experience I had going through the mental health breakdown and being so thankful to recover from it, and I'm continuing to learn from it. So yeah, so it's reading your thing. Well, I don't put my faith on my clients. I let them make their own mind up. But some of them ask me, and I say try it for yourself because it's a personal thing, and they say it works. Some of them, it's not for them, so I don't force it on people. Same way I wouldn't like people forcing their faith on me unless I ask for it. So it definitely works for me, and I'd say give it a try if it feels right for you. Even giving thanks every day is, that's just like the most basic formal prayer anyone can do. When you wake up in the morning, just say thank you for being alive. You can do it right now. Thanks for being here. It does really help. These little things, they make a big difference. You might not notice it at the start, like all things, but with everything, that's why I said patience, perseverance, with everything that you do, with exercising, with dieting, with faith, with whatever it is that you're trying to achieve in your life. It's a daily thing. It's a daily practice. You practice it daily and you make a lot of progress. And perseverance is about, developing your character through all times, through good times, through not so good times, and through bad times. So what I'm explaining today is, primarily it's for people that are going through a bad time, but it's not just for that. It really isn't. It's for people that are, whatever time that they're in, if they want to be better. Because for me, I know from my experience now, when things go well, if I don't appreciate them, if I take them for granted, if I stop with my daily habits, then it could easily just go back to a bad place again. But if I'm in a bad place, I'll always come back to what I learned throughout my whole life, but especially the period of 2017 up until 2024. I will go back to gratitude and faith, and it will help me to get through a difficult day, a difficult hour, a difficult time, and it does work. But yeah, I've made a list below this live stream so all of you can try it. It's my daily discipline routine that I learned from the mental health breakdown. And I also, what I did was, all of it was learned from that experience, but I also examined my life throughout the last 40 years. And I thought, when I look at my life, when did things go well? Or what are the good things that I learned from good people? How can I package that and give that to people so they can have a better life? And that's what I've done. I said, well, when I did amateur boxing, my life went really well because I had discipline in my life. I was around good people. I was away from trouble, crime, violence, drugs, all those things. And I was developing my confidence, my discipline, and I really enjoy training. And it's something that you can see on my page. I pretty much do it every day. I teach my clients to do it. So I thought I'm going to bring that into my teaching, exercise, boxing or weight training and running, because it works for everybody at any stage. I don't have to be going through pain and suffering, well, they can be. Even if you're in whatever it doesn't matter. If you're married, you've got family, you're old, you're young, men, women, everyone can exercise and benefit from it. And it gives you gratitude, character, reduces anxiety. So there's that. Then I also looked at my life when was I the happiest? When I had friendships, fellowship, when I was around good people, and I was with people that were genuine, and we had good friendships. So it's like, okay, I'm going to work on relationships, building good relationships, working on treating people well, and having boundaries. So I incorporated that. Then the next thing was, oh yeah, when I cleaned my apartment, when I went through periods of my life where I wasn't cleaning my apartment due to laziness, a bad attitude, a lack of gratitude, and letting my fear get the better of me, I didn't feel good, I got depressed. When I was cleaning my apartment and keeping it clean, I felt my life went better. Right, I'm going to incorporate that. So you guys and girls see where I'm coming from. Then it was, okay, what about all the therapy that I got? I got the mentorship that I received, the therapy. What did I gain? What was the benefit? Being vulnerable, not being afraid to open up with the right people, ask for help or to give help. That takes you to another level. So not being afraid to get help. And also, what did I learn from teaching? Helping people. It's one of the best ways to live a great life. You don't have to be a coach to do that. You don't have to be a business person to do that. Just daily living, but you can run a business. Public speaking, helping people to earn more money, to be in every way, be a better person, it changes your life. So when you're going through anxiety and hopelessness, I know it's very difficult, and I mean this kindly, take your time with it, right? If you help someone, if you can help someone, you're going to experience less pain, you're going to grow more, you're going to be happier. When I was in a mental hospital, obviously the first day I was just thinking about myself because I was literally in turmoil. But as the days went on and I got help and started to feel better, I got back into my faith and I got help from the doctors, I started to help other people, and it made me feel great. That wasn't a tactic or a technique. That was from the heart. That was my own conscience. It felt right. I did it. It was great. When I had extra food that I bought from outside, and I come into hospital, I shared the food. If someone asked me, I never said no. I gave them a bit of my Chinese or my kebab, or when I bought my blackjack proteins, I shared them out. I bought 6, gave 2 out, 3, rest for me. Man, sharing takes you to another level of kindness. You shouldn't have to suffer and be in hopelessness to be kind. You should be kind anyway, but the reality is most of us not, right? It takes discipline. But that's why you work at it daily. I practice it daily. You can be kind by being polite. If you're running a business, you're kind to your clients, you're creating value, your friends, family, basics of daily living, of how to be a better person. So I incorporated that more into my life. That really helped. And that's in the routine or the program. What else is there? I also incorporated, pursuing your hobbies and things like that. It's basics of life. All the things I'm saying are very simple, but obviously it takes discipline to practice them. Most of the things, all of you know what to do. If I ask most of you, do you know what you need to do in your life if you want to live a better life? Most of you say, of course I know that, Jonathan. Then if I said to you kindly, so why are you not doing it? If you were honest, you'd say because of my anxieties and fears and the pain that I'm in. I'm scared of it, or the anger that I'm dealing with, or the hurt, or the trauma. So I would encourage you to find gratitude within the pain and suffering that you're going through, and that's going to help you to get out of it and persevere. Look, when I was in pain every day in hospital, I was in agony, believe me. My jaw was hurting, my head was hurting, my whole body was in pain. I thought I was going to die. I can't take this pain. But every single day, even for half an hour or a couple of minutes or an hour, I would experience some peace and gratitude. I would come out of that pain and have a breakthrough, and I'd just be so thankful. And then I would go back into that pain again. So, does that make sense what I'm saying? This stuff is, anybody can do it. Anybody can experience what I'm saying. I think most of it is just being aware of it. The fact that I've shared my story, I've made you aware of a strategy of how to get through difficult times, through gratitude, through persevering and getting the help that you need, and also a great way to get help is also to give help. So these are all things that are available to everyone and anyone at any given time, but obviously it takes courage to practice them. Key thing as well is not perfectionism, but consistency. You're going to fail at certain days, but as long as you don't give up. So the list that I've wrote, it's not like you've got to get everything in one day. You build that over time. So like I said before, when you wake up in the morning, make your bed. If you make your bed, you're already starting off on the right foot. You're teaching yourself self-respect, discipline. Making the bed is not an easy thing to do when you're going through a hard time. It isn't easy. It's easy to make the bed when things are going well. This is the fundamental thing I learned about life and challenges, that it was easy for me. I can go and give a talk in front of hundreds of people when I'm feeling good. I'm not challenged. I can do a lot of things that some people can do, maybe some people couldn't do. It's pretty easy for me because of my experience and the experience that I've got. But if I'm having a bad day like anyone else, and I'm really stressed and I'm worried and I'm anxious and I'm feeling hopeless, then these things are not easy, and that's where you've got to dig deep and use character but be gentle with yourself at the same time, and move forward in faith and get the help that you need, and dig deeper for yourself, help someone else, and then things start to get better for you because you're persevering and you're being as truthful as you possibly can. And Now, obviously, if someone is in a position where they're not in a position where they can give help, then they deserve to receive the help. That's totally understandable. That's when you've got to ask for help. The help's always out there, and it's not a weakness to get help, it's a strength. Yeah, there's something about, on my journey, I learn this every day, I go over it, it reinforces what I'm explaining and sharing and teaching, which I'm grateful for. When you work hard and you focus at something, the hard work and the focus actually numbs the pain, it reduces the pain, it heals the pain. So let me give you an example. Let's say you're going through a bad depression right now with anxiety, or you've gone through a loss, a breakup, or you're financially struggling, or you're just not in a good place mentally and emotionally. If you focused on one thing every day and you put your energy into it, of course you're still going to struggle in the day, and you're going to be scared and be lonely and have all the challenges that all of us go through, but you're going to gain something out of it. You're going to get stronger. So it's not like trying to fully get rid of all anxiety. That is not probably good. It's not going to work. But it's like accepting the anxieties there, the pain, the hopelessness, but having another folder where you're building yourself up, your courage. Does that make sense? And that's what I did, and I'm still in that process now. Obviously, because I've got to live daily life. I've got challenges too. I run a business, clients, working on myself, my faith, the diet, training. But I enjoy living like that. I enjoy living a disciplined life of service, of challenge, because what you gain out of it is such a beautiful thing. It makes up for the pain and the challenges that we all go through on a day-to-day basis, and potentially some of us going through it on a year-to-year basis. So you got to find something that's meaningful to you, because everyone is different, right? Within the things that I've said. So, every day clean your apartment, or exercise, or cooking, like that, or go and help people, speak to a friend, go and do some volunteering, or run your business, design, either work, because I enjoy courage, hope, understand, all those things. You can get some questions going if you want. I'm going to speak a little bit lower, because always got to be mindful of other people. I think they're fine here. Basically, it's finding hope and having a purpose. The things that I said, the daily gratitude, daily habits, the basics. Appreciate what you've got now. Focus more on what you're grateful for, what you have, as opposed to focusing on the suffering and the pain that you're in from what you don't have, or what you've lost. Yeah, don't focus on what you've lost. Focus on what you can give. I was going to say what you can gain. I didn't feel fully accurate, but yeah, you will gain something precious. For every loss in time, there is something precious that you earn, and I can't exactly articulate that right now in what that is. It's different for everyone. For me, it was gratitude, it was growth, it was a stronger connection with faith, and the other things were a bonus that come from it. It was fitness, health, grit, determination, all those things are great. They're all character building things. I try to. I might not clean the whole apartment every day, but I will make the bed every day. I will take out the rubbish, and I will try my best, which I'm pretty good at not letting the place get out of hand. And then I'll do like a sweepstake, if that makes sense. So I'll clean the whole flat on a certain day. So kind of yes and no to answer your question, but I stay on top of it. I never leave the house without making the bed and about taking out the trash. And then I'll get around to doing the washing, make sure the toilet's clean, the sink, spraying the place out, and hoovering, cleaning, all the basics. So yeah, so cleaning is how you find hope in challenging times, and it's something you should do every day. It'll give you great life if you clean every day. You get gratitude in that, and you'll get all the things that you want to gain from the character building development of cleaning. Exercising, same, even better. Communicating. So cleaning, exercising, communicating. What else is there? Exercising, cleaning, communicating, eating healthy, cooking. 4 great things there. If you do those things every day, man, you're going to be in a lot more peace. Your pain is going to soon start to diminish, and even better, you might even appreciate it. You might get to a point, I've been there, where you're like, you know what, of course no one wants to be in massive pain, but you might go, I appreciate some of the pain, look what it's given me. It's making me a better person, it's making me help more people, it's helping me to, move forward more than I would have done if I didn't have the pain. One thing many things I love about people that I've studied from people that have been through very tough times and they've got through it, whether it's been overcoming a drug addiction or what I've done recovering from a mental health breakdown or finding God, their faith, they've become a better person. Even if the suffering was unjust, it wasn't fair, what happened to them, and someone else was wrong, but they found a way of coming back. They're a better person and their life goes amazing, both materially and spiritually. But for me, it's more important that you get yourself right as a person than it is about the material things. But everyone's going to make their own mind up with that. That's been my experience. Because if you have a lot of material things but you're not in a good place mentally, you're not going to be happy. You're going to suffer even more, even worse actually, potentially. But yeah, these people become better people. They grow more, they've got more humility, and it really does inspire me all the time. Even all different walks of life. I watch people that have, they were criminals and they come out of prison and they turn their life around. And they found Jesus, or they found faith, or they just become a better person and they gave it up and start helping people. It's beautiful, it's amazing. Story of hope. Yeah, I've gone through doing that. I would say again, just be patient with yourself and just work at maybe snoozing one snooze less and getting up. But yeah, I've been through that. I'm really good at getting up now, but I do get days here and there. Probably a day this week where I snoozed a bit, but I was just fine with it. Forgive yourself and keep going. Again, it's not about trying to be perfect, because if you try to be perfect, we're going to fail every time. None of us are perfect, but it's about being better, consistent, more disciplined, more grateful. And you got every day you got an opportunity to be better. We can only do one day at a time. So my whole mindset and way I live my life is I'm going to give my best effort today. So if I'm coaching mentoring a client, I give my best. When I'm praying, I give my best. If I'm training, I'm doing a live stream today, I give it my best. That's all you can do. And if you keep giving your best every day, all that effort is going to add up and add up and add up. I would say the key 2 things I want to share today is to transform your life and get out of hopelessness is help other people, treat people how you want to be treated. And I'm including that of all the challenges you go, anger, resentment, because of the hurt that we've all been through. I've been through it, but still let anger and resentment make you be horrible to everyone else, then you're not winning, you're no different. So that anger and resentment, don't get me wrong, I know it's difficult, but you'll get rid of it by being kind. And obviously there's a time to have boundaries with people. That doesn't mean being a doormat and letting people walk all over you. It's the balance, isn't it? Martial arts. You're not a bully, but you don't let people bully you. You respect people. Very similar in relationships to living, treating people better and yourself better, and that will really change your life quicker, a lot more quicker, more effective. And I learned on my journey at times that's where I went right and that's where I went wrong. Really a question that I would ask, and it's not to judge, but it will help you. And I would recommend not rushing the answer. And I ask myself this question regularly: is don't rush it. You guys and girls can go away and process it yourself, right? Is just ask yourself, do you like the way you treat people? Are you happy with the way you treat people? And that question came to me many years ago, and I'm not going to say to you what the answer was, but I'll say that I went away and spent some years really working at being a better person in how I treated people and how I treat myself and the boundaries. And that one question helped me to live the rest of my life and to continue to get better. Obviously we make mistakes, we all get upset sometimes, we all go, wish I was a bit kinder. That's why we're all a work in progress, but obviously we want to make the least amount of mistakes, and that's what I try to encourage people and teach and practice. And then you get more consistency, like in the gym. So that will really help you to get out of anxiety and hopelessness. Being kind. That got me through my whole mental health experience. The faith from my own faith, good people, being good myself, and that you recover quicker. And that's a message to everybody, not just if they're going through anxiety or mental health challenge or whatever the case may be, especially when you're in a place where you've gone through a painful loss, which I've gone through many. I'm going through one right now, as I said to you, all of you. So you really want to have no excuses, and this is going to be great for you personally, and you help other people. That's what it's about. But yeah, like I said from today's live stream, when all of you go away, you'll do it anyway, but I encourage you, it's your own choice, just practice maybe one thing that I've said that resonates. If it's cleaning the apartment, I think the best one is be kind to people, treat people well. But practice the one that you can, and then you can build for the next one. This is what I've done. I didn't just do all these things at once. It took me 6 years, and now I still practice them daily. So I've had to build up to this point of coming off medication when I was in hospital, losing over 40 pounds, coming off of universal credit, and paying my own rent, taxes, and rebuilding a new business again. So things take time. That's why you take one day at a time, and as we're going one day at a time, you might as well find at least an hour, maybe even longer, of gratitude and appreciation for living, for what you got in your life, however you do that. For me, I can do it. I pretty much do it anywhere I want. I've practiced it. But for some people, you might need a specific thing. Like some people might have to go to the park, which is great, to find that connection with feeling grateful, less stressed. Some is the gym. For me, I like going to nice hotels, having a coffee, sitting down. I like hitting a punch bag in any gym. Simple things, cooking some food at home. I certainly hope so, Eddie. Hope so. Fingers crossed. How are you, Eddie? Good to see you, man. How you doing? So yeah, routine comes to mind. You need a routine, especially for men with mental health and for confidence. I have a daily routine, the daily discipline routine. I call it the daily gratitude, a daily program. I have a routine. So now wake up, you clean, you work out, you go to work, you come home, spend time with friends, you help someone. You get a routine going, so you're not having loads of time that you're just wasting. Because if you don't use your time and just sit around, you're going to get anxious and worry. That's the nature of the mind generally. But if you use your time wisely, and I've realised, I'm going to do a video about this soon, there is positive thinking and then there is negative. There's sitting down where you've worked hard or you're grateful, you've done positive things, and then you take some time out just to relax and you're like thinking, but the thinking's nice, it's very calm, It's not aggressive, it's not suffering, but there's that other thinking that none of us like, where it's, worrying and torment and anxiety and stress and pain, where you're in that negative loop. So it's finding ways to break that as much as we can daily through faith, through praying. If that works for some people, it doesn't. That respect your choice. Exercising, running your business, working on your career. So I'm kind of boiling down the main premise of this video is about hard work. If you work hard every day, then you're going to have you're going to feel better, have a better life. Oh, thank you, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, the word value really comes to mind right now. I think people, me too, all of us, sometimes we don't really value valuable things because we're not focused on it. We're going through our struggles. We're caught up in our struggles where we don't realize that we can really value who we are just by being alive, regardless of what we have. We don't need to have things to value, and doing the simple things like being with people, like having a coffee, like cleaning, like going for a walk in the park, is being in that good place of appreciation. Or even, and I've done it a lot, I know you can do it, my clients have. Of course, it's the reality of life. You're not always going to feel good. I don't always feel good, but you can still find something to be grateful for when you're not feeling good, when you're in pain or shame or stress or overwhelm or doubt. You can still go, right, I've got all that in my body. Again, it's the hero and the coward, right? I've got all this stress going on in my life right now. I'm scared, I'm uncertain, but I'm not going to let it defeat me. I'm going to have a little compartment over here, and I'm going to be grateful. I'm going to do positive things, or I'm going to, whatever it is, simple things. Make life simple. If you master simple things, then life will become amazing. But if you don't appreciate the simple things, then nothing is good enough. That's what happens to people. I've seen it and I've experienced it. Whereas if you could appreciate a cup of coffee and a conversation, walking the dog in the park, and really enjoy that, then you could appreciate having a successful business, or getting married, having kids. You would appreciate those things even more, because you can appreciate the basics of what I would call fundamental daily living. But if you don't appreciate daily living because of the pain, anger, resentment, the stress, the strive, the trauma, whatever is going on, then striving to get all these big things is not going to work out very well, in my experience. But I guess, again, everyone's going to make their own decisions, and you're going to learn what you can learn from me, what you can take, which I'm grateful for. Or I'm even fine if you completely dismiss it and figure out your own way. I have it every day. Not to say that I don't have challenges, I definitely do. As I said, I'm going through some grief at the moment. A good friend of mine passed away, took his own life. Loved him very much. It's been very difficult, but I'm grateful for him, for the lovely friend I had, and the strength that he's given me. He gave me the strength for yesterday's stream. He showed up today to give me the strength for this one. That's the strength of his spirit, of his heart. And I have lived an amazing life. I was working out today in the gym. I've just put the video up now, the whole clip. Well, not all of it, but 8 minutes on the punch bag, and I was in pure gratitude. I loved it. I was just hitting that bag, training. I love this, man. I'm so grateful to be able to do this, because you can't take anything for granted. And being fit, being sharp, hitting the bag, I love it. Love the feeling. Yeah, getting to bed early can be good. I mean, that's important. I'm having a later night now because it feels right, but I don't know if you saw some of my earlier stuff the last few weeks. I was going to bed early every day, like 7, 8. That's important too, definitely. Yeah, just ask yourself at the moment, all of you, right? Check tomorrow, even now. When you're going about your day tomorrow, just have 5 seconds and ask yourself, why am I not enjoying this, or why am I not appreciating this? It's not judging, it will help you. You'll become aware. Then you might find the reason, you might get the answer. You might ask yourself, why am I in the supermarket right now shopping for food, but I'm not enjoying it. I'm resentful, or I'm stressed or angry or down. I do that and it helps. And you might go, because I'm really tired. Okay, I'm tired, but maybe because you're doing it to yourself by not appreciating the simplicity of being in a supermarket. For example, if you're working out, I see a lot of people working out. They're not enjoying it. They look miserable. I think how how can they not enjoy working out? I love working out. It's not guaranteed to have a gymnasium or to be work out. It's not guaranteed. So when you can do it, it's like freedom. But obviously, if you're in a certain mindset and you're not grateful and you're struggling, it's easy to not appreciate things, and that creates more suffering. So you can reduce your suffering by appreciating simple things and really mastering them, and then building on that. It's not like you're going to stay there forever. So people think, oh, Jonathan might be telling me clean my apartment to be grateful, use good manners and go gym and eat healthy. And some people might have in their mind, that's a boring life. Well, maybe you feel that way, but you've not really tried it. And who's to say that that wouldn't lead to an even better life? Like some of you said, that might lead to you getting married or becoming financially free in your dream business, because you've mastered the fundamentals of being able to appreciate the small things in life. But if you can't appreciate the small things in life, then you might not be able to achieve the bigger things, or even worse, you'll achieve bigger things, but then you will resent them. You won't be happy. You'll still be in a mental and emotional prison. Like my good friend said years ago, I had a friend, John, and he'd been in, anyway, he said to me that you can be in prison without being in prison. And that was really profound. And he said, you can be in prison in your mind. It's true. I can be in this place. This is a beautiful hotel, as you can see, but I can be in prison right now. If I'm not grateful and present and I'm not relaxed, which I am, I feel great here, then I can be in this nice place, but it's no different to me being in a mental hospital, which I'm going to touch on, right? This is true. This is quite deep, but hopefully people will get it. First day in the mental hospital, as you can imagine, I didn't enjoy it, guys and girls. I didn't want to be there. I would have much rather have been in a nice hotel, or at home with my family, or at the gym, or a girlfriend, partner, or a client. But that's where I was first day, and I was unwell. But after 2 weeks, I actually was happier in the mental hospital than when I was successful in my business, because I was grateful. So I don't feel any different. Being in this place now, I don't feel any different than how I felt on the inside when I was in a mental hospital on the second week, because I found my faith and I felt good inside. I had gratitude. Does that make sense? So it doesn't matter where you are in the world. You could be in the most fancy hotel, or you could be in Starbucks, or you could be in a poor area, or you could be in prison. If you're not grateful inside, then you're not going to be happy. You're going to be miserable. This is a really deep, profound. This is things I learned. These are things. It's not. Life taught me this. The experience. Yep. I mean, I've said it before. If this is not enough to inspire people, I'm not taking the credit for it. Not for me. But if this doesn't inspire people, then I don't know what will. Being that only 6 years ago, it weren't that long ago. We're in 2024 right now. So in 2017, I was living in a mental hospital, and I didn't look the way I'm looking now, medication. Now, moving on 6 years, I'm in a luxurious hotel in London, having a coffee, appreciating it. But I don't need a fancy hotel to feel worthy or valued, but I can appreciate it, and I can feel valued in a mental hospital, which I did after finding faith and gratitude. So that's what I'm trying to explain to people, and anyone can do it. Yeah, you're right, mental health is an awful thing, but there is hope. My story is proof of that, my testimony. I had mental health problems, and look where I am now. Anyone can do it. I'm not just talking about the place I'm at, but where I'm at mentally as a person. 40 pounds lighter, changed everything, my diet, my lifestyle, my teaching, and I'm working on improving every day and enjoying each and every day in gratitude. love stories of hope. I love the stories of hope since I was a kid. The Rocky story, I love it. I still love it. And I love going online. I watch anyone who's got a story of hope. It doesn't matter what walk of life they're from, or how old they are, or what gender they are, man or woman. They're people, and I appreciate it. And I like seeing people come out of suffering and turn their life around, live a good life, and inspire people. They've inspired me, many people. So this is for me. This is it's a beautiful thing. It gives hope to everyone. We all need hope. It is nice. I do like it. Yeah, the piano. Didn't expect that today. Lovely. So yeah, man, this is the story that I'm continuing to share. I'm getting a little bit more courage every day. It feels good to share it. I made a promise when I was in hospital when I prayed, and I'm praying and hoping that I can get invited on more podcast platforms and other things, so I can share it and inspire and help more people. Be vulnerable and share my continued story, because for me the story doesn't end, it's still continuing. I'm still living. Hopefully I've got a few more years left, longer, and sharing the story, not just the story of the mental health breakdown which I'm sharing, but my life before that and my life now and what I've learned. And also within my story there's a lot of people that I want to talk about that mean a lot to me. So it's not just, I'm not just sharing me and my story, which I am. I'm also sharing the story of people that I love, that I met on my journey. Some are here now, some have passed away, but they're here in spirit. And I'd like to honour those people and share, how much they mean to me and how it can help a lot of people. And inspire all of you and other people to share their story, because everyone's got value. Everyone is valuable. Everyone's got a story. Everyone's got something that they could say and share that can help the next person. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate that. So yeah, it's been an educational experience. It still has, and I'm pretty interested at the moment in studying. Life is tough, definitely for everybody. For everybody, at some point it gets tough for everyone, and that's something that I forgot actually. I knew that growing up because it was tough. I had a tough life growing up. You could always say other people have got it tough, which they have. So yeah, it is tough, which is why we need gratitude and support and strength and things like that we've been talking about. Especially the times now that we're living in, it's quite tough in many ways. I suppose you could say there's great things as well. But I do also believe that saying, life is what you make it, and that's something that I'm learning more and more as I get, go on living. Right, I'm out of words. Perfect, 60 minutes. I think that'll be it for today. It's been great, really enjoyed it. I did about a 2-hour something stream. You can look at the other streams that I've done. Yesterday's one's on there, there's many others. I'm going to keep doing as many as I can. And I really appreciate all of you coming on. And that's my story again. Thanks for the support. Thanks for coming on. Good luck. Practice, things daily. Perseverance is one day at a time. No, I'm not in the church. I'm in a hotel. And yeah, follow me on the channel. That's great, man. Are you welcome, man? I'm glad that you sent this to your mum. Oh, that's great, man. Appreciate that. So yeah, I do these consistently. You can follow me, like, share, subscribe, and continue to share it, because this, for me, this is a daily thing. It's not just share it and then that's it. Good luck. Take one step at a time. Look at the other videos. I've got an Instagram. I put all the stuff out there. I've been sharing this daily discipline routine that anyone can practice. It will help you to change your life, if at the very least to have to have better days, more gratitude. All right, awesome.